Willie the Man Nelson. Leave me if you need to. You know, just all that stuff from Willie to rock and roll that I was listening to in high school. Once you have kids, your whole life changes. Everybody knows that, you know, and it changes. It gets harder, but it's also for the better. I mean, I love, the highlight of my day is, you know, when I'm in town, I get to pick up my kids at school. It's awesome. It's like, doesn't matter what you're doing, how bad your day went, or how great it went. It's like, you drop everything for them. You kind of realize what's important. They make you a better person, for sure. I mean, I think, you know, before you have kids, you're just not even fully evolved yet. And, you know, the older they get, just, you know, it keeps getting better. Most important thing my kids have taught me is just to not take yourself too seriously. I'll play them a new song in the truck, just driving around. Hey guys, what do you think of this? You know, what do y'all think of this? And they're just, they constantly laugh at me. So, you know, it's like, Dad can't be cool no matter how hard he tries. And you know what? That's okay, because it teaches me not to take all of this, you know, this too seriously. And that's a good thing. It's just music. You constantly evolve. We all do. You know, whether you're a musician, artist, singer, songwriter, banker, whatever it is. You know, it's like we all grow, we all evolve, and we're constantly evolving. And music's no different. When I first started out, I was kind of trying real hard to sort of emulate those that I looked up to, and now a lot of that is just intrinsically part of me. You know, it's what I do. Just it's the chords I play. It's the way I sing, and it doesn't matter, you know, that I don't have to try anymore. It just becomes part of you, and then hopefully you develop in that your own style. You know, and I think through the years I've kind of come to grow in that and become comfortable in my own skin, and it makes making music a lot more fun. To be a successful songwriter, you can't be scared of rejection. There's a lot of it. I mean, most of the songs you write, nobody ever hears, and you got to be okay with that. Sometimes the ones that people do wind up hearing that are big hits, they might not even be your favorites, you know, of the ones that you've written. So you just got to love the process. To write a great song, when you start with a really cool idea, and when you start with a mediocre idea or one that's not so good, it's a lot tougher to come up with a good tune out of that. Like the old saying goes, you can't polish a turd. So it's a great career. You know, it's not for everybody, that's for sure. You got to be you got to be halfway crazy, and I certainly think I and my co-writers fit into that category pretty darn good. There's a theory out there that songs have a life of their own, and they kind of take their own path and wind up where they're supposed to be. So I've never thought about the fact that, you know, well, you could have recorded that song for yourself, George. Why'd you give it to so-and-so? Having written Real Fine Place to Start for Sarah Evans, for example, I couldn't have made that song the record that it became. You know, couldn't have done it like Sarah. Wouldn't have wanted to. She made it a hit, a #1 hit. You know, and I'm thankful for that as the writer on that song. Always the Love songs that the Eli Young band recorded. And made it a top 10 hit. You know, they made it a hit, and it's their song now, and they made a great record with it. Randy Rogers Band, Kiss Me in the Dark, or, you know, Garth and George Jones recorded Beer Run, and it was on both their records, and they made it a hit. That's a monumental, very flattering compliment. It's the ultimate tip of the cap when somebody records your song, especially an icon like George Jones and Garth Brooks. When the Dixie Chicks record one of your songs, and Natalie's singing it, you know, she makes it her own song. They made it their song, you know. So I'm pleased as hell they recorded my songs, and I make them part of my live show every night. 4340 is my first record in a couple years, and I'm real proud of it. Got the title from looking at all the songs on the record. It's a 12-song album. I added up the total listening time of each one, came up with higher math here, but 43 minutes and 40 seconds of good time country fun. Never been good at being good. You know, when you throw on 4340 or you come out to see the show, it's like you're kind of hearing the soundtrack to my life so far. And I think you just might hear the soundtrack to your life in there too. Soon as I stumble onto something good, I go and mess things up. It's a pretty broad record, you know, and I think that's kind of one way that I show that I've sort of grown through the years. It's not all honky-tonk all the time. but it's certainly represented. And then there's an edgier side too. It's got, you know, love songs. It's got broken-hearted stuff. It's got strictly fun dancing songs on it. And, you know, in that way, I think I kind of represent sort of all sides of human emotion. So it's got a little something for everybody, and you know, it's something I'm proud of, and I think I'll remain proud of for a long time. Good times.
Let's go kicking it in a cow town.
A big party. A lot of fun.
The sounds of a country song on the radio.
Non-stop music. Some loud guitars. Big banging drums. A lot of fun. A little bit of beer. A little bit of whiskey. Safe driving home. And then I can't wait to bring the party back to you all over again.